The Enterprise Center of Johnson County, the Mid-America Angels, and the Women's Capital Connection are regularly brought up in the Kansas City startup circles. This panel will go into what these groups are and what the difference between them is.
All right, a question that I see all the time is what is the difference or the delineation between the Women's Capital Group, Mid-American Angels, and the Enterprise Center of Johnson County? They're all doing some really awesome things, but how are they doing it, and what does that model look like, and how do they work with each other? Like, help me understand this.
ECJC is a connector. I mean, they don't invest any money. They're not the investors. They're the support structure.
Right.
For that. I mean, and so the other entities that you mentioned are all, they're there to take those companies that get developed there in an accelerator kind of program, incubator kind of program, and pluck them out and put them on the map.
Right.
That's what I'm out to.
ECJC is the longest running incubator in Kansas City, and they're a spinoff of K-Tech, which is an amalgamation of all sorts of incubator-esque programs that was established probably in the late 90s.
No, it was before that.
Really?
K-Tech was before that, probably 93, maybe 92.
Yeah. Well, it's an impressive group, and it's awesome to watch them kind of adapt as things have changed, right? So it's like they've been doing the entrepreneurial scene in Kansas City for longer than everybody else has, and they just watch all these new incubators and accelerators and angel groups pop up, and they just tweak their offering and continue to survive. So it's pretty impressive.
Well, you said it, it's like the on-deck circle, but it's almost more like the minor leagues.
Yeah.
So you kind of hone your skills, hone your pitch, develop your company like you would in any incubator, and then take it to the other groups to basically raise money.
Okay, so what's the difference between the Mid-American Angels and the Women's Capital Connection?
Level of investment is definitely one of them. I mean, Women's Capital Connection doesn't usually go in a bigger way like America does. So there is a level of investment. So I think the perceived notion, like if I'm asking for more than $250 or something like that, I better go with Mid-America. Now, it doesn't mean the women's won't do it, but the barrier is much higher. Women, it seems to me like they're just, and I don't know why I'm saying this because I've been married for 36 years, you'd think I'd know, but they are such a dichotomy in investing strategy. Sometimes they're just very conservative, they ask a lot of great questions, and that's awesome. And that's what you want, is that kind of thing. And so, but they also tend to be not as risky. They don't take as many risks. So, I mean, it's more information. You know, we always say women are intuitive, you know, and I think that's totally true. They take information and then they become intuitive about it.
It's very good for the females of Kansas City and throughout the region to know that there is at least one, if not a couple of places out there to where if you do get your stuff together, that you being a female is in no way, shape, or form going to be a barrier. In fact, it's probably going to be
an advantage in that regard.
Yeah, but don't let that fool you, because some of the women that I know that are involved with that are as hard-nosed and as absolutely driven as anybody I know.
Yeah.
Period.
ECJC is definitely for these great growth stage companies, and they bring them in, they cross their T's, they dot their I's, they get them set up to either pitch to Mid-American Angels or the Women's Capital Connection, and then they've got all sorts of support structures between the beginning of that to the end of it. I mean, it's a pretty impressive thing, and they've got some great companies that have come out of that.
Do you know, do other cities have Women's Capital Connection type organizations?
Some of them do, but not even close to every major metropolitan city. I'm sure that there's definitely a handful of them in places like New York and San Francisco, but it is way more spotted when you look at Milwaukee's and Albuquerque's and Denver's and that sort of thing. So Kansas City, when it comes to female investing, is more so on the map because of them than the rest of the time.